Hello, everybody. Good evening. This is Kama, your host of Pursuing Your Passion. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before I get started, I have to say thank you to our sponsor, Christopher S. Dennis. He is the experienced connector. Make sure you find him at ChristopherSDennis.com. My guest today is the co-founder of All in Publications. It is a publishing company, Miss Deidre Harshaw. I want everybody to welcome Deidre Harshaw. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas, for having me on your show tonight. How are you tonight?
I am doing just wonderful. Why don't you tell the audience exactly who you are and what you do?
Well, good night, good evening, everybody. Today, I'm going to talk about my company, All In Publication. It is a book publishing company out of Detroit, Michigan. We go after authors and writers that want to pursue their dreams as being an author and getting their books published.
All right. Question for you. How did you guys get started? Or how did you get, well, yeah, you guys, this is a company between you and your husband, correct?
Correct.
And how did you guys come up with All in Publications?
My husband came up with that name. He came up with it a year and a half ago. We decided to publish his book. He wrote 10 books. So the first one we got published through Xzebras. And we spent about $5,000 plus to get this book published. We went through the process of publishing the book, and I went through all the phases of the book and realized that afterwards that we can do this cheaper for the second book. So once the second book got published, or we started to publish it, I thought, why don't we go out into the literary world and seek out authors that would like to publish their books. Instead of spending $5,000, you'll spend not even half of that, and we go and publish your book for you. We do everything from typing to marketing. We're a one-stop shop market.
So you guys do what most people will charge you to do a little bit at a time, right? It's not just you pay for the marketing, you pay for the publishing. Everything is all in one.
Exactly. We do the typing, we do the editing. I have an editor, we have a graphics designer. Our website should be up in a couple of weeks. Woo!
Hey!
Hopefully it'll be up in a couple of weeks. So we'll have an online bookstore. We'll have an author's corner where we'll be doing interviews with authors that they can come on and tell their story. I believe everybody has a story, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And they should choose to write about their story. You never know who you will come in contact and who you might help out. So we want to help people to get their books out, get their word out there into the reader's hand, and help somebody that needs some assistance.
Now, what are you doing exactly for your authors? If someone comes to you and say, Dia, I need you to publish my book, what are the steps that you take to get their book published?
One, I find out if their book has already been typed. That's the first thing. Has it been typed, or do I need to type it? If it's already been typed, then I download their PDF file. I send it to the editor. The editor goes through it, makes all the corrections. You receive 2 copies. You'll have a final edition of the corrections, and you'll see the corrections. I then get the book back. I go through all the corrections. Whatever the author needs to do, then I let the author does it. It's whether they have to put more dialogue, more description, the author takes care of that part. Once the editing is done, we go to the graphics designer. They actually sketch out what the front copy is, what the front of the book is going to look like, excuse me. Once that is done, I put it in a JPEG, upload it, I format the book, then I upload the book. Once I upload it, I get it copywritten. The author will get a copy of their book as well as the Library of Congress. Then I go and I market their book. I promote their book. I find all their author interviews. I do all their book signings. I walk them through the whole phase of it. I'm really close to my authors.
You know, you have something, again, You're working very close because doing from beginning and the end, the graphics, the typing, the edit, sending it to the editor. What is probably one of the hardest things that you find with working this whole system? Is there like this road where it seems like everybody has this little hump that they have to get over? Is there anything specific, I'm sorry, and if not, is it just something that's just based on, you know, each particular book or author?
I think the biggest hump that I come across is the marketing and the advertising. Actually finding the events that suits my author's needs. And all my authors are not in Detroit. I'm based in Detroit. So I have authors outside the state rather, and you have to kind of critique to their needs and make it reasonable for them as far as location wise. So that's the biggest part. Authors don't realize that yes, you can write a book, you can publish a book, but the biggest part is the advertising and the marketing and promoting of the book. They don't think about that part.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of authors don't utilize the free marketing that you can do online as far as YouTube and Google Hangout and Google Plus. But there's more to that. You still have to go that extra mile to sit down and find the book signings, find the people that would like to interview you, market your book, get a website up. It's a lot of information that authors don't know. So that's what we try to do. I try to take that burden off my authors, and I find their expos or festivals in the bookstores that will help them. Instead of them doing that legwork, I do that legwork.
Wow. You just about taking over. All they have to do is just say, hey, here's my idea, and you run with it, which is, again, it's always good to have that one-stop shop where you can go one area, because it's hard to deal with this person and that person. So that is something that is excellent. Is there, what are you doing? Are you writing a book? I know you're doing a little something called Head Ladies in Charge. Why don't you talk to us about that a little bit?
Yes, I teamed up with Shay and Trevor. I am a hashtag HLIC, Head Lady in Charge. I will be collaborating with other like-minded women. They're women all walks of life. Small business owners, entrepreneurs, speakers, authors. We're all collaborating together to put a book together that's coming out in mid-March. So I will be doing a lot of promoting with that book as well.
All right, Head Lady in Charge. How do you feel about that title? We're in a different era now. Women are doing a lot more than what they were doing years ago, being in charge. What is your feeling about that title?
Oh, I love that title. You know, I take that title and run with it. I always feel like we're head ladies in charge. I think that's great because, you know, society thinks that women can't get along. They're always catty and fighty. I've noticed that networking with a lot of women, a diverse crowd in different areas of life, coming together and working together, I think that's wonderful. To help another person out or another woman out to succeed in life, that's what it's all about. It's not about the fighting and the arguing or you got more than me. I think that working together as a team, I think that's great.
Yeah, we seem to click from literally day one. We've been talking as if we've been knowing each other forever, which is good because as women, we don't need that. We need to learn how to come together, how to support one another. Now, you have some women authors that are under you, and I know you're going to have even more. What is some advice that you would give them about worrying about the competition? Because that is something that we deal with, not just women, men as well, but us as women, we tend to hold on to our own stuff. So what's something that you would tell one of your authors that's a woman coming in, seeing the competition, something similar to what they're doing, how to get through that and not let that stop them or deter them from pushing forward?
I let my authors know not to let nothing stop them. You're not in a race. You know, everybody has a goal. Everybody has a purpose. And what you have and what I have, we're no different. We're equal. We're equal people. So there's no reason. There's enough readers out there for people to sell their books and to get their books in a reader's hand. So personally, I don't think that they should argue and bicker and fight. If anything, you should help one another along. I promote my authors to get along. I introduce them to each other, so everybody knows everybody. All my authors are doing something different. All their jurors are different. So therefore, you know, they're all in different walks of life. But I like for them to get along. I also push them to, I have a grandbaby that has sickle cell. So when my husband does his book signings, we, for every book that we sell, we send money to the Sickle Cell Foundation and the Leukemia Foundation. His niece got diagnosed with leukemia about 3 years ago. So we give to both foundations with his book signings. And I tell my authors, I don't make them do it, but I ask them to support a cause. Don't wait till something happens in their life or in their family's life or your friend, then you decide to get on this boat to join in and give a cause. Give a cause to somebody, because those couple of dollars will help that cause along. Foundations need money. It doesn't matter what foundation you do, whether it's sickle cell or domestic violence, whether it's feeding the hungry. I ask them to donate to some cause. So all my authors have causes that they will be donating to through their books.
Wow, that's excellent. That's very good. We do need to give back. I'm working on some things too. I want to give back to two causes, towards breast cancer. I lost my sister to breast cancer a little over a year ago, and to domestic violence, because I've experienced that, and it's not something that's easy to get out of all the time, even though people think it is. But it's always good to give back for research, for help, for shelter. So I think that's a beautiful, beautiful thing that you're doing. How are you balancing your job, your business, your family life? As a woman, you're head lady in charge, but we still have some things we have to take care of, being the woman in the house.
It is very, very hard. I take those 24 hours and break them down into 2-hour segments. I do work full-time at the hospital on the weekends, so that is my job. But I'm in school as well full-time, so I have to break my job, my hours down in the day to commit so many hours to certain stuff. I can get to working on my business stuff and forget all about homework and forget about family life. I can just get way too involved with it. It's very hard, but this is what I like to do. So therefore, the only way that I'm going to get through it and get my authors through it is I got to stand firm myself. So I do this every day. I be tired, but I do this every day. But this is what we have to do to get ahead. So I work hard at it. I be tired. I love it. I'm going to enjoy the traveling this year, but it'll be worth it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And before I go on, just FYI for those that are watching, if you have any questions, please feel free to type your questions in, and we will answer your questions as they come in. So you were talking about, you just said travel. Where are you going with this business? Well, obviously everywhere, because you have authors, and then I'm sure with the HLIC, I'm sure you guys are going to be doing a lot of traveling as well. So how is that going to balance? That's going to be something huge in your life, because that's just a whole thing in itself. How are you preparing yourself for something like this?
I wish we haven't gotten an itinerary for the book yet. I'm still waiting for our itinerary. I will have to rearrange a lot of stuff, because we do tour with the book. We do a lot of Google Hangouts with the book. I'm also going to be involved with the HLIC Foundation, so that has a lot. What I'm looking to do is, wherever we're going to be at, then I would try to schedule a festival there at that time for my husband to attend and for us to speak as well. I'm lining up some things. I'm going to be also doing a lot of speaking engagements. So I'm starting to line up a whole bunch of stuff.
Wow.
I'll be a little bit of everywhere.
Do you have an assistant?
I'm trying to work in my budget assistant.
Look, you need to go to internship.com and talk to them because you are going to need somebody. You are busy, busy.
I need somebody now.
I know the feeling. It's definitely a job within itself, and that's the purpose, to let people know that this thing is not just, people don't just jump and, hey, here I am, I'm on stage, right, I'm doing my thing. No, this comes with a lot of hard work, and it comes with a lot. It comes with a lot. I actually just received a question for you. The question is, are there authors that you've had to turn away?
No.
No? Okay.
I haven't turned anybody away. All the authors that we have, we work with them. So usually if they can't afford it, because it costs between $1,200 to $1,500 to actually get the whole book published.
Wow.
And that's from typing to advertising. Plus, they get book trailers. And my husband does the videography of the book trailers. I don't get involved with the book trailers. That's one thing I don't.
Slow down just a little bit.
Right. I let him deal with that. But no, we work out payment plans. We work out schedules. I talk to my authors on a regular basis. They know if they call me and I can't get back to them, I do get in contact with them. So we really work hand to hand with them as much as we can. I want to see them succeed. We're going to the festivals, the expos. We're going to get in bookstores. We're going to try to build up revenue that we can lead ourselves and get into the big chain stores and get into Walmart and Sam's Club, and we want to get in the big chain stores.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You got to go big. You can't. Oh, yeah. You can't just settle for mediocre, especially when you're going after your dream. I think that's where a lot of people fail, is that they don't think. Sam's Club is something you said. Even going into Costco, going to the bigger chains, people think that, oh, I just can't get there because I have to know someone, or it's impossible. Somebody got there, whether someone helped them or they did it themselves. They were able to make it in there. Now, with the books, as far as not turning anyone down, is there any reason you would turn someone down? If someone came to you, is there something that will say, you know what, I just don't think that this will work? Or you say, you know what, based on what you have, this is what you probably need to do, and then we can work with you. If you haven't run into that, how would you handle that type of situation?
If I run into an author that has a book out and need to be more enhanced, then I can handle the more enhancement to make it better. Mm-hmm. If I get an author that brings me their material and you're not showing me that you're serious, then that'll make me slow down and turn you away. Because when I take your book, you're asking me to take your book, publish your book, market it, promote it, advertise it. That's a lot of work. I take a lot of time out for this. So if I'm doing a lot of leg work and I'm working on this 7 days a week, I expect you to do the same thing. I explain to my authors, there are events that are $5. There are events that's $1,200. And I can't tell you what you're going to sell at these events. There's events where you can go to and sell one book. There's events that you can go to and sell out. But it's all about how you market. But if you go to your events and you put your product out there, if you bring back some knowledge from that event, then it was worth it. Oh, yeah. If it didn't work for us this year, then we won't go there next year. So you just got to play with the statistics. But I expect my authors to work just as hard as I am. Yes, yes. And you know what? You said you may not sell. And what I like is your honesty. You're not promising them absolutely anything. But the good thing is that they get to connect and meet other people, learn about other events that's coming up. And again, the honesty to me is what's very important. Be upfront.
because that's why people are so skeptical to work with people, is because people are not honest. They think, oh, they just want my money. Your prices are really pretty reasonable. I don't know too much about the book world, but for $1,200 to $1,500, you guys are taking on quite a bit. So it sounds like people need
to. I think we're going probably half of what you can pay. Ex Zebras, we paid out over $5,000.
Wow.
And that was just to get the book published. We spent another $1,200 to get 120 books. So you spent $10 per book. So you're looking at $6,200 just to put a book out. But
wow.
They didn't do no marketing, no advertising, no promoting. They don't do none of that stuff. So now you got to spend out more money to advertise and to market and to promote. We take all that. We do all that because we want to see our authors succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So I cut that price. You're paying $5,000. I'm charging less than $2,000, and I take on all the work.
Wow. Yeah, you have a team. So again, that makes a huge difference. What and why don't you explain that too? How does that help you? You almost have not almost, you have a partner that can help you, whereas with me, I'm doing this thing by myself, spending hours and hours and hours. So with what you're doing, my goodness, I can't even imagine. But it's two of you. How is that working for you? And your business partner, your husband, how is that working for you guys?
Well, my husband is my partner. My husband is the author Deidre Harshaw. So he does the book trailers, like I said. He also does the music videos. He took off last year and he did his own short film, Heart of Greed, that's up on YouTube. So he's finalizing that now. So he'll be out this year doing his book promotion and his film promotion. But that's my partner. It's just me and him. So I gotta find me a virtual assistant. I'm gonna go to the intern.com.
Internships.com. I'll make sure I get you that link so you can go after it. Now we are doing the last week of February with Dia's publishing company, her authors, we are doing a whole week of authors, and I am really excited because I've had a chance to talk to most of her authors. I believe I have one or two to speak to, and they all have different books that they have. Everything is different. The genre of it is different, and I'm absolutely excited. So you guys that are watching, make sure you tune in the last week of February for Authors Week. I want you to talk to us about a couple of the authors that are going to be on, and just give a little brief description about their book that they're going to be discussing that are on our Authors Week.
Deidre Harshaw is my husband. He will be talking about two of his books. His first book is Bulletproof Love, that's out on Amazon now. It's about two guys that were from the hood, from the ghetto. They didn't have no money. They were poor. They ended up robbing a drug dealer, a big-time drug dealer. They didn't realize that robbing this drug dealer, that they were going to they came into all this money and drugs and women, and they were very materialistic, and they ended up in the end getting taken down by the DEA. His second book, Adonis, will be coming out in mid-March. That is a very good book. It's about a young guy that got hooked on heroin, ended up losing everything, was homeless, lost his job, his wife, his girlfriend, everything, lost his kid, ended up going to jail for a year, got clean, came out. He then went back to selling drugs, but when he sold the drugs, he kept the money. He didn't spend the money. He kept the money. He ended up buying houses, ended up with a hotel. He ended up really rich. And in the end, it's a catch to the end. So you got to get the book to get the end of the story.
All right.
Candace Works and Nikki Hoy, they are bringing out the Made series, Made to Love. They're coming out with their book in mid-March. It's a collaboration of women that are together. It's a three-part series. So they're coming out with their book in mid-March. The first book will be coming out in mid-March, and they're working on the second one. I also have a young teenager that will be coming out with her book in April. She is writing a vampire book. It's going to be really good. You got to get that one also. It's about two kids that got into this vampire thing. One was a werewolf and one was a vampire. So that was real good. I'm typing that book now, and it's about to go to edit. So I got a lot of diversity going on.
How old is she?
She's 15.
Wow. Yeah, I'm
she's
excited.
15. She's going to publish her first book, and she's writing her second one.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, and then we have one more.
We have Keith Davis on the East Coast. He's bringing out his book. His book is going to be a catcher. Confessions of a Reformed Player. That's a good book. It's about men that are, how can I say this? Men that, he's actually telling how men can be dogs and how he reformed himself from being a player in the streets. Very good book. He also has a book out, Awakening, poetry, that he has out now on Amazon. You need to catch that book. His second book is very good. It should be out in mid-April as well. That book is in editing mode right now. Houghton Roll has out Frames of Words. It's a poetry book. Very good, very good. Real deep into poetry. So we got a lot of different, it's a diverse crowd, wide range of anything you want to read.
Well, that is wonderful. So it shows that you guys aren't just stuck on one specific area. Even with the people, you have a male, you have the two women that have come to collaborate together. You have the young girl, the teenage girl, which I'm really excited because I love to hear young people that are doing any type of entrepreneurship now and not just waiting till they get older. So, and then your husband, he has a lot going on. And then yourself, you are going to be an author, co-author of this book and traveling and all that. So that's wonderful, just absolutely wonderful. I'm really excited for you. And of course, this is not going to be the last time you're on the Hangout, because we are going to be busy in the month of February, and then we have a great show coming in March, which we will talk about that at a later date, and I'm excited about that one. I think that one is going to be wonderful. I'm excited about it.
Well, you should give them a little snippet of it.
Okay, so with Mr. Davis, he's going to be talking about the Confessions of a Reformed Player, and we're going to actually talk about some things that men, the way they think. He's going to be very honest. Put it this way. He is going to answer those questions that we as women always want to know and wanted to understand. And we can't get it from a guy because they're not going to tell us half the time. So he's going to actually come on here. And I believe that every woman should be on here that has questions. And he's going to keep it real with you guys. So make sure you tune in and we'll tell you about the date because we want to keep you coming, keep you watching. But make sure you watch that. I'm sorry?
Keep them in suspense.
Yes, we will keep them in suspense. So that's going to be a great week about relationships and everything. So I think we all should listen to this. And it's going to be some mad men out there, isn't there? But it's all right. We need to hear this. I'm excited, though. Now, before we end, let's make sure you tell everyone how to get in contact with you, your social media, email address, whatever it is they need to get in contact with you so they can call you and say, hey, I need you to publish my next book. Why don't you give us that information?
You can contact me by email at deidre3520001@gmail.com. I am on Facebook as Deidre Harshaw. I do have a business page. Stop by and like me, All In Publications. I have a Twitter page, Miss Harshaw. Instagram, Harshaw0420. I am also on LinkedIn as Deidre Harshaw, and I do have a LinkedIn All In Publication group as well.
All right, beautiful. Thank you so much for being on. I'm
Thank
excited
you.
with all you're doing. Congratulations on your business, on your new book that's coming out. You know I'm rooting for you. So congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And for all those out there that are watching Pursuing Your Passion, again, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to my show. I just get a thrill being able to meet so many great minds. It is a pleasure. I absolutely love what I do. And if you're interested in being on my show, make sure that you inbox me at booking@commaspeaks.com. That's booking@commaspeaks.com. Also, you can follow me on all my social websites. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest under Comma Speaks. I'm under LinkedIn under Comma Burton. And also, I have my website, which is commaspeaks.com. So make sure you follow me. You have no excuse of why you can't find me. I am everywhere. And I want to give a special, special thank you for the sponsor of my show, Mr. Christopher S. Dennis, the Experience Connector. If you are looking to be a sponsor on my show and you want to get your face out, make sure you contact me at info@commaspeaks.com for more information. Thank you again for tuning in to my guest. Again, thank you. To my audience, thank you. And remember, no matter what you do in life, always pursue your passion. Have a great night.
Thank you for having me.